Hey, English learners. Welcome back to Leap English Podcast by Mr. English Fluent Tutor. I am Anna.
And I am Abel. Hey everyone, and hello Anna. It is so great to be here with you today. I always look forward to our conversations, and I have a feeling today is going to be a really good one for all of our listeners.
Abel, can I ask you a question today? Just one simple but very powerful question that I think every single person listening right now has thought about at some point in their life. Are you ready for it?
Always, Anna. Go ahead. You know I love your questions. They always make me stop and really think. So yes, please, ask away. I am all ears and I am ready.
What do you think about when you hear the words, stop comparing yourself to others? What is the first feeling or thought that comes into your mind when someone says those words to you?
Honestly, Anna, my first thought is that it sounds almost impossible. Every single day I open my phone and I see people speaking English so beautifully and fluently. At work, people seem to earn more money. Online, everyone appears to be living this exciting, amazing, perfect life. I just feel like I am always falling behind everyone else.
Oh, Abel, I hear you, and I completely understand that feeling. But I want to gently correct something right there, because what you were describing is not real life. You are comparing your everyday, ordinary, sometimes messy life to someone else's highlight reel. That is like comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's best movie trailer. It is simply not a fair comparison.
Wow, Anna, that hits really hard actually. I never thought about it that way before. So you were saying that what I see on social media is not the full picture of someone's life. It is just the very best, most perfect moments they chose to share with the world. That makes a lot of sense when I think about it slowly.
Exactly, Abel. And here's the most important thing I want every listener to understand today. The only truly fair comparison you can ever make is looking at yourself, specifically looking at how much you have grown compared to who you were yesterday, last week, or last month. That is the only comparison that actually helps you move forward in life.
That makes so much sense, Anna. So instead of looking left and right at what everyone else is doing, I should be looking at my own path and my own progress. I think that is going to be the key message of today's entire conversation, right? I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it that way.
Yes, 100%. And that's exactly where we are going today. So let us dive right into this beautiful conversation together. We have so many wonderful ideas, analogies, and tips to share with you today. And all of you listening, please stay with us because this episode might just change the way you see yourself forever.
I love that, Anna. And I want to say to everyone listening right now, whether you're a beginner learning English, someone feeling stuck in your career, or just a person who scrolls social media and feels a little sad sometimes, this conversation is made 100% for you today.
So, Abel, let us start with something really beautiful. I call it the water from a bottle analogy. Imagine that every morning you wake up and you have a fresh, full bottle of clean, cool water. That bottle represents all of your mental energy, your confidence, and your motivation for the entire day ahead.
Oh, I love this already, Anna. So that bottle of water is basically my inner fuel for the day. It's everything I have to give to my goals, my learning, my work, and my relationships. I start the morning full and ready to go. That's a really lovely way to picture it.
Yes, exactly. Now, here's what happens when you spend your morning scrolling through social media and watching what other people are achieving. Every time you feel a little sting of jealousy or think to yourself, wow, they're so much better than me, you are pouring a little bit of your precious water right onto the floor. Drop by drop, your bottle empties.
Oh, wow, that's such a powerful image. So by 10 o'clock in the morning, if I've been comparing myself to 10 different people online, my bottle of energy and confidence is already almost empty, and I still have a whole full day ahead of me to live and to learn and to work. That sounds exhausting when I think about it.
It really is exhausting, Abel, and that's why so many people feel tired and sad even before their day has really started. The good news is that you can choose to save your water. You can put a lid on that bottle by simply deciding to scroll less and to focus more on your own simple, beautiful daily steps forward.
That's such a practical tip, Anna, and I think a lot of our listeners can relate to this. You pick up your phone first thing in the morning, and before you know it, your good mood is gone. So putting that lid on your bottle means being intentional about where your energy goes each day. I want to try that starting tomorrow morning.
Yes, and I encourage every listener to try it too. Even just for one morning, try not to look at other people's achievements first thing when you wake up. Instead, drink a glass of water, take a breath, and think of one small thing you want to do just for yourself today. See how different that morning feels.
That makes so much sense, Anna. Okay, I want to bring up another idea now because you mentioned something earlier about looking at the right window. Can you tell us a little more about that? I think that's going to be another really helpful way to understand this whole comparison habit.
Of course, Abel. This is what I like to call the room with two windows analogy, and it's one of my absolute favorites. Imagine you're sitting in a cozy room and there are two windows. One window looks out onto a dark, cloudy, gray street where everything seems rushed and competitive and a little bit sad.
Okay, I can picture that clearly. The cloudy window sounds a bit like how I feel when I'm deep in comparison mode. Everything looks gray and heavy, and I feel like I'm the only one who is moving slowly while everyone else is racing past me at full speed. That window does not feel very nice at all.
That cloudy window is the comparison window, Abel. That is what you see when you spend too much time measuring your progress against someone else's journey. And the worst part is, the more you stare out of that window, the more you believe that what you see is the whole truth, but it is not the whole truth at all.
Right, and I imagine the second window is completely different. So what does the second window look like, Anna? I am curious because I really want to shift away from that cloudy, gray, heavy feeling and look at something that actually makes me feel good about where I am right now.
The second window looks out onto a beautiful, green, peaceful garden. And in that garden, you can see your own unique flowers growing at their own perfect pace. Some flowers bloom quickly, and some take longer, but every single one of them is real and valuable and completely beautiful in its own right. That is your window of personal growth.
Oh, wow, I love that so much, Anna. So when I choose to look out of the green garden window, I start to see my own progress, my own small wins, and my own journey with much more kindness and appreciation. That changes everything about how I feel about myself and about my daily efforts. That is truly beautiful.
Exactly, Abel. And here's the thing. You have the power to choose which window you look through. Nobody forces you to stare out of the cloudy window all day. Every time you catch yourself comparing, you can gently say to yourself, let me turn and look at my garden instead. It takes practice, but it absolutely works.
And I think that is such an important reminder, Anna. It is a choice. We sometimes forget that our attention is something we can actually control and direct. It's not just something that happens to us. We get to decide where we look and what we focus on. That alone is really empowering to know.
Yes, 100% empowering. Now I want to talk about something that I think will really speak to our language learning listeners, especially. Let us talk about stepping stones and what I like to call your pocket coins. Abel, have you ever stood at the edge of a river and wondered how to get to the other side?
Yes, actually, I have, Anna. I remember being a child and standing by a stream and thinking the other side seemed so far away. And then I realized there were stones in the water, just enough to step on one at a time. I didn't need to jump the whole river in one go. I just needed the next stone.
Perfectly said, Abel. And that's exactly how personal growth and English learning works. You don't need to match someone else's 10-year journey in one single week. You don't need to speak like a native speaker tomorrow morning. You just need to find your next stepping stone, which might be something as small and simple as learning 2 new words today.
That makes so much sense, Anna. And I love the idea of pocket coins, too. Can you explain that part a little more? Because I think it ties in really beautifully with the stepping stones. Small efforts add up over time, right? Even 10 minutes of focused practice is worth something real and valuable.
Yes, exactly. Think of every small effort you make as a coin you drop into your pocket. 10 minutes of listening to this podcast, that's a coin. Reading one short paragraph in English, that's another coin. Writing 3 sentences in your notebook before bed, that is yet another coin. Every coin counts, even the tiny ones.
Oh, wow, I love that framing so much, Anna. And the beautiful thing is, nobody else can see your coins. They're yours and yours alone. You don't need to compare your pocket to someone else's because their coins are for their journey, and your coins are for yours. Both pockets are valid, and both journeys matter equally.
Beautifully said, Abel. And when you collect enough of those small coins consistently, day after day, week after week, you start to cross the river. You look back one day and realize you have come so much further than you ever imagined. And you did it all on your own stepping stones, at your own natural pace.
That is so encouraging to hear, Anna. I think a lot of beginners, including me sometimes, feel like unless they're making big, dramatic progress every single day, they're failing somehow. But the truth is that small, steady, consistent effort is the most powerful kind of progress there is. It's quiet, but it's incredibly strong.
100% able. Small and steady always wins in the long run. Now, let's move to another idea that I find incredibly helpful. I call this one the clean knife analogy, and I want you to imagine that your mind is a very sharp, clean, clear kitchen knife.
Okay, interesting, Anna. A sharp kitchen knife sounds like something really precise and focused, so I'm guessing the idea here has something to do with cutting away things that are not useful for us. Am I thinking in the right direction here? I'm curious to hear exactly where you're going with this one.
You're exactly right, Abel. A clean, sharp knife can cut through things clearly and efficiently. But now, imagine that knife is covered in a thick layer of rust and dirt. That rust is what social comparison does to your mind. It covers your natural sharpness with layers of self-doubt, unrealistic expectations, and feelings of not being good enough.
Oh, wow, that's a really vivid picture, Anna. So, when I spend too much time measuring myself against others, my thinking becomes cloudy and dull. I can't focus clearly on my own goals because there's too much noise and too much rust covering my natural ability to think and to grow. That's really relatable.
Yes, and cleaning the knife means bringing your attention back to one simple, clear daily goal. Just one, not 10 goals for the whole year, not comparing your life to 5 different people at once. Just one clean, clear intention for today. That singular focus is what keeps your mind sharp and your confidence strong.
I really like that, Anna, because I think one of the reasons comparison is so draining is that it splits our focus in 100 different directions at once. I'm looking at this person's career and that person's English level and this other person's lifestyle, and before long, I'm paralyzed. One clean goal sounds like freedom.
It truly is a form of freedom, Abel. And it is interesting because when you focus on your own single daily goal, something wonderful happens. You stop caring so much about what everyone else is doing because you are genuinely busy and engaged with your own life. Your own progress becomes the most interesting story in the room.
Exactly, Anna, and that reminds me of something you touched on earlier. I want to talk about the word yet, because I think it is one of the most powerful little words in the English language. I actually have this inner voice sometimes that says things like, I do not speak English as well as those fluent speakers online.
Oh, yes, Abel, I know that inner voice very well. And I want every listener to know that having that voice is completely normal. You are not alone in hearing it. The problem is not that the voice exists. The problem is when we let that voice become the final word on our abilities and our potential.
Right, exactly. So, Anna, how does the word yet actually change things? Because when I say I do not speak English fluently, it feels like a closed door, like that is just the way things are and there is nothing I can do about it. It feels final and a little bit hopeless, if I'm honest.
That is such a real and honest feeling, Abel, and I'm glad you shared it. Now try saying it this way. I do not speak English fluently yet. Do you feel the difference? That tiny 3-letter word opens a door. It says, this is not where my story ends. It says, I am still on my way, and that's perfectly okay.
Oh, wow, that genuinely feels different, Anna. I do not speak English fluently yet. It turns the statement from a wall into a road. Suddenly I'm not failing, I'm just in the middle of my journey. And being in the middle is not a bad place to be at all. It actually sounds kind of exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. And the word yet works for so many different situations. I do not feel confident yet. I do not understand every word I hear yet. I have not finished this chapter yet. Every time you add yet to the end of something that feels discouraging, you remind yourself that growth is still happening and it is still possible.
That makes so much sense, Anna. I'm going to start practicing that right away. And I think it also ties back to everything we said about not comparing yourself to others. Because the moment you add yet, you shift your focus from where you are right now compared to someone else back to your own personal timeline and your own journey.
Perfectly connected, Abel. And that's exactly the mindset shift we're talking about today. Now, I want to bring up one more idea that I absolutely love, and it's something I think will really take the pressure off a lot of our listeners. I want to talk about the idea that there is no teacher hiding behind the sofa.
That is such a funny and unexpected image, Anna. No teacher behind the sofa. I'm already smiling just thinking about it, but I think I understand the feeling behind it. So many of us live like we're constantly being graded or judged by some invisible authority figure, watching our every move and decision.
Yes, exactly. And that feeling of being watched and graded creates enormous pressure. It makes you feel like if someone else got further along the road before you did, then you somehow failed your exam. But here's the truth. Life is not a competitive examination with one single winner and everyone else losing.
Right, and I think that's something that's really deeply embedded in a lot of people, especially those of us who grew up in very competitive school environments. We were always ranked and graded and compared to our classmates, so it feels natural to carry that same mindset into our adult lives, but it doesn't have to stay that way.
Exactly, Abel. There's no invisible teacher crouching behind your sofa with a red pen ready to mark you down because your neighbor learned a new skill faster than you did. Your personal growth is your own individual experience. It belongs entirely to you, and it moves at your unique, personal, beautiful pace. No red pen required.
Oh, wow. I love that so much, Anna. No red pen required. I think that phrase alone could help so many people breathe a little easier today. Because honestly, so much of the comparison habit comes from this fear of being judged or found lacking. Removing that imaginary judge changes everything about how we move forward.
It really does. And I want to say to every listener right now, you are doing so much better than you think you are. The fact that you are here, listening, learning, and growing right now in this very moment is proof that you are moving forward. That's something to genuinely celebrate and be proud of.
100%, Hannah. And that brings me to the last analogy I want to explore with you today, because I think it's the perfect one to end this beautiful conversation on. I heard you mention something once about a slow friend on an afternoon walk. Can you tell us about that one?
Yes, I love this one, Abel. Imagine you're walking down a long, peaceful road on a quiet afternoon. You're walking at a comfortable, steady, easy pace. Now, somewhere behind you is a friend who is walking even slower than you are. You can't see them yet, but they are absolutely on their way to you.
Okay, I can picture this perfectly, Anna, and I'm guessing that slow friend represents something meaningful. Is the slow friend the feeling of peace and genuine confidence and real satisfaction? Because those things do seem to come slowly and quietly rather than arriving all at once in a big dramatic moment.
Yes, Abel, you guessed it exactly right. That slow friend is deep, lasting peace of mind and genuine self-confidence. When we're constantly comparing ourselves to others and rushing to keep up, we're actually running away from that slow friend without even realizing it. We never let them catch up to us.
Oh, wow. That's such a beautiful and unexpected way to think about it. So by intentionally slowing down, by focusing on my own quiet daily steps, and by letting go of the need to keep up with everyone else, I'm actually giving that slow friend a chance to catch up and walk beside me. I love that image.
Exactly. And when that slow friend finally catches up with you, which they will if you keep your own steady pace, you will feel something that no social media post or comparison to someone else could ever give you. You will feel genuinely at peace with who you are and genuinely proud of how far you have come.
That makes so much sense, Anna. And I think the most powerful word in everything you just said is the word genuinely. Because there is a difference between performing confidence and actually feeling it. Real peace and real confidence feel quiet and warm and solid. They do not need to announce themselves loudly. They just are.
Yes, beautifully said, Abel. And that quiet, solid, warm feeling is what we are all working toward. It is worth every single small step, every coin in your pocket, every clean slice of your focused knife, and every moment you choose to look out of the green garden window instead of the cloudy gray one.
Anna, I think this is such the right moment to do our word review because we have used so many wonderful and important words during this conversation today. I want to make sure every listener has a clear understanding of these key words before we wrap up. Shall we go through them together right now?
Yes, let us do it, Abel. I love our word reviews because they give everyone a chance to slow down, really absorb the vocabulary, and make sure the new words stick in a meaningful way. These words are all directly connected to our topic today, and they are all very useful in real, everyday English conversations.
Perfect. So let us start with the very first word, which is compare. To compare means to look at two or more things side by side to see how they are similar or different. For example, I often compare my English speaking skills to native speakers online, which sometimes makes me feel discouraged instead of motivated. That is a very common experience.
Yes, great example, Abel. And remember, the key lesson from today is that the most useful person to compare yourself to is your past self, not someone else. So you might say something like, when I compare my English now to my English from 6 months ago, I can clearly see how much I have improved and grown.
I love that, Anna. Okay, the second word is unique. Unique means one of a kind, something or someone that is completely different from everything or everyone else. Your personal learning journey is unique. No two people in the world have exactly the same strengths, timeline, or way of understanding things, and that is something to celebrate.
Beautifully said, Abel. A simple example sentence for unique would be something like, everyone has a unique way of learning that works best for them, so there is no need to copy someone else's method. Your unique approach is valid and valuable. That word unique is such a positive and empowering word to know.
Absolutely, Anna. Now, the third word is jealous. To feel jealous means to feel unhappy or upset because you want something that someone else has. For example, I sometimes feel a little jealous when I see other people speaking English so confidently and easily, even though I know that feeling doesn't really help me move forward.
Yes, and feeling jealous is a completely human emotion, Abel. There's nothing wrong with feeling it briefly. The important thing is not to let that jealousy pour out your bottle of water for the whole day. Instead, you can use that feeling as a small signal that says, hey, I care about this goal. Let me put that energy into my own practice.
Oh, wow, I love that reframe, Anna, turning jealousy into motivation rather than sadness. Okay, the fourth word is progress. Progress means moving forward, improving, or getting better at something over time. Even small changes count as real progress. For example, learning 5 new English words this week is genuine progress, even if it feels very small in the moment.
Yes, and progress is not always visible right away, Abel. Sometimes it happens quietly underground, like roots growing beneath the soil before the flower ever appears above it. A good example sentence is, I'm making steady progress with my English every single day, even when I cannot see the results immediately with my own eyes.
That is such a reassuring thought, Anna. Underground roots are still real roots. Okay, the fifth word is appreciate. To appreciate means to recognize the value of something and feel grateful for it. For example, I'm learning to appreciate my own small daily wins instead of only focusing on how far I still have to go.
Wonderful example, Abel. And appreciating your own journey is one of the most powerful habits you can build. You might say, I really appreciate how much effort I put into my English studies this week. That kind of self-appreciation builds confidence quietly and steadily from the inside out, which is exactly where real confidence needs to start.
Exactly right, Anna. Now, the sixth word is individual. Individual means relating to one single person rather than a group. Your journey is individual. It belongs to you alone. For example, personal growth is an individual experience, which means your timeline is completely your own and doesn't need to match anyone else's timeline.
Perfect, Abel. And the word individual is so important for today's topic because it reminds us that we are all on our own separate, personal, unique paths. There is no one-size-fits-all route to growth or learning or confidence. What works for one individual might be completely different from what works for another, and that is perfectly fine.
100%, Anna. And the seventh and final word for today is journey. A journey is a long process of travel or change that takes time. Life, learning, and personal growth are all journeys. For example, learning English is a long and rewarding journey, and every single day I spend practicing is one more valuable step along that path.
Beautiful, Abel. And the word journey is such a warm and encouraging word because it takes away the pressure of needing to arrive somewhere immediately. When you see your English learning as a journey rather than a race, every step feels meaningful and worthwhile. There is no rush and there is no finish line to miss.
I couldn't have said it better, Anna. So to recap our 7 beautiful words for today, we have compare, unique, jealous, progress, appreciate, individual, and journey. These 7 words are all deeply connected to the heart of what we've been talking about today. Please write them down and use them in your own conversations this week.
Yes, please do write them down, everyone, and use them. The best way to make a new word truly yours is to use it in your own sentences, in your own diary, in your own conversations with friends. Words become powerful when they move out of the notebook and into real daily life where they belong.
Absolutely, Anna. Okay, so I think it is time for our final summary of today's beautiful and deeply meaningful conversation. I want to bring together all of the big ideas we talked about today so that every listener leaves with a clear, practical, and encouraging picture of exactly how to stop comparing themselves to others.
Yes, please do the summary, Abel. I think you will do it beautifully. And everyone listening, please pay close attention to this part because it ties everything together in a really clear and memorable way. This is the part where it all clicks and makes complete sense as one unified, helpful message.
Thank you, Anna. So today we talked about several really powerful and practical ways to break free from the habit of comparing yourself to others. We started with the water from a bottle analogy, which reminded us that our daily mental energy and confidence are precious and limited resources. Every time we feel jealous or inferior because of what we see someone else doing online, we pour that precious energy straight onto the floor. The smart and self-loving thing to do is to put a lid on our bottle by choosing where we direct our attention each morning.
Yes, beautifully summarized, Abel. Keep going because you are covering everything so clearly, and our listeners are going to love this.
Then we explored the room with 2 windows, where we learned that the cloudy window of comparison makes everything feel heavy and competitive and discouraging, but the green garden window of personal growth shows us our own unique progress, our own unique talents, and our own beautiful individual timeline. We always have the choice to turn and look at the right window.
Exactly. And what a powerful choice that is to have available to us every single day.
We also talked about stepping stones and pocket coins, which reminded us that we do not need to match someone else's 10-year journey overnight. Every small 10-minute effort, every new word learned, every short paragraph read, every little practice session is a real coin in your pocket and a real stepping stone beneath your feet. Small and steady progress is the most lasting kind of progress there is.
Yes, 100%. And those coins add up more quickly than you would ever expect when you stay consistent and keep showing up for yourself every single day.
Then we talked about how there's no teacher hiding behind the sofa with a red pen to grade us down because someone else moved faster. Our personal growth is an individual experience, not a competition with a single winner. Life is not an examination, and your worth as a person is never determined by how you rank against someone else's progress or timeline.
Absolutely not. You are worthy and valuable exactly as you are, right here, right now, in this very moment. Please carry that truth with you always.
And finally, we explored the slow friend analogy, which showed us that deep and lasting peace of mind and real self-confidence are like a slow, steady friend walking behind us on a quiet afternoon path. When we slow down, focus on our own daily steps, and stop racing to keep up with everyone else, that slow friend finally catches up and walks beside us. And when they arrive, the feeling is genuinely warm, solid, and deeply satisfying in a way that nothing else can match.
Oh, Abel, that was such a beautiful and complete summary. I think every listener now has a full toolkit of ideas, analogies, and mindset shifts they can take with them into their daily life. And remember, you do not have to use all of these ideas at once. Just pick one that resonates with you today and start there.
Exactly right, Anna. One stepping stone at a time, one pocket coin at a time, one clean goal at a time. That's all it ever takes to begin making real and meaningful progress on your own beautiful, unique, individual journey. We are so proud of every single one of you for being here today.
And now I have a very special request for every listener out there, and this is one of my favorite parts of every episode. I would love for you to drop a comment below this video right now. Share with us one small personal win that you're proud of today. It doesn't have to be big or impressive, just something real and yours. And here's the important rule. Do not compare it to anyone else's win. Just share it as your own and celebrate it fully.
Oh, I love that so much, Anna. And to all of you listening, please do leave that comment. We genuinely read your comments, and they mean so much to us. Seeing your small wins reminds us of exactly why we make this podcast every single week. Your progress, your courage, and your beautiful individual journey inspire us every single day, without exception.
Yes, it truly does. And we want you to know that no matter where you are in your English learning journey or your personal growth journey right now, you are exactly where you need to be. You are doing enough. You are enough. And every small step you take forward is something worth celebrating with full and open-hearted joy.
100%, Anna. And I think today has been one of the richest and most meaningful conversations we've had on this podcast. I feel genuinely inspired and reminded of all the things I want to focus on in my own life. Thank you for guiding this beautiful conversation today, as always.
Thank you, Abel, and thank you to every single listener who stayed with us all the way through to the end of today's episode. That takes real commitment and real dedication, and we see it and we appreciate it fully. Keep being kind to yourself and keep showing up for your own beautiful journey every single day.
And remember, the next time you find yourself opening your phone and starting to compare your life, your English, your progress, or your timeline to someone else online, pause for just one moment. Take a breath. Put the lid back on your bottle. Look out of your green garden window. Drop a coin in your pocket and choose your own path with confidence and with love.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking with confidence and ease. This is Anna.
And this is Abel, and you've been listening to the Leap English podcast by Mr. English Fluent Tutor. Bye-bye. Take care.
And hey, before you go, click on the next video right now to keep your English learning and your personal progress moving forward beautifully. We have so many more wonderful conversations waiting for you, and we can't wait to share them with you. See you in the next one.